In the 80s, a cult film made the circuits and, offbeat cinema. King's Court Theater in Pittsburgh and that. It's called Meetings with Remarkable Men. It was sort of glorified the traipsings from monastery to monastery of George Ivanovich Gurdjieff, who Frippertronics promoted. When I hitchhiked from Pittsburgh to St. Louis just to hear them, the idea of meetings with remarkable men was interesting, sort of. Now, Flippy Toon was a friend of Colin Powell, and he was promoting things like weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, virginity-proof rape at Cucumber Falls, and there's soon to be another ice age. And he announced that he was a miraculous mystic of Allah who could sense truth. None of this three strikes and you're out jazz. For him, for everyone else. So, Don Toon was a specialist in media. Behind the Batcave wall of Shulman books and Caliban books and Mandela books on Craig Street. He used John Craig's gang to ruthlessly run amok over queerbait. You have to understand who Flippy Toon was promoting was a foreign English named John Bennett. And John Russell Bennett or something. Not to be confused with Russell Bennett up on John Russell Circle. J.G. Bennett founded the Claremont School for Crafty Guitarists. And inspired Flippy Toon to send me a postcard, which I gave to Adrian Ballou, which he used to promote Brian Richmond's gang. And J.G. Bennett had a saying that the universe had a requirement of man that was analogous to man's requirement of cattle for their meat and their leather. Bobby Werner, Israeli, and whose appearances with his girlfriend were sort of the American Gothic of Pittsburgh, said quaintly, that does sound like a Russian idea. He predicted my life would be an exercise in futility. J.G. Bennett talked about a dramatic universe. Well, when The Wall came out and I was getting pussy whipped by the neuroplasm implanted by Servian Wattenmaker, over Leslie Katz, who was buck naked at Cucumber Falls, asleep with her legs spread, and I didn't do anything but cry. And Amanda Harcourt turned that into the claim that there were weapons of mass destruction, a red line in the sand, and virginity-proof rape, and soon to be another ice age, and all the other stuff that preposterous man promoted. And got me tortured and castrated. And they're still at it by Penis Gabriel. But he had this thing Bennett did of a dramatic universe. They hardwired hallucinations through media. Midori Goto worked with the director of the film Pink Floyd's The Wall and Alan Parsons, promoting the man who tortured me because I got jealous, and they hardwired the idea that I got jealous of the Lenin Houdini to say I could have saved him. Yeah, there's a deep state in that stuff. Claire was the name that Kaplan wired into every disturbing pawn story that he could find. He found Melissa Riddle, whose name riddled the storyline of my father's murder by the Donahue Squad. Donahue stands for Dawn, Ono, and Nathaniel, Nosferatu. And Clint Eastwood is in that squad. He was the one who called where eagles there were doubles there, and came up with the apology to Herr Grooster by the little boy of Bush's fleet and the army. So Riddle comes up on my father's deathbed, right, with the Green Party stamped on his obituary, German Green Party. So Kappa was monitoring every detail, and he found a girl named Claire who put a towel around her head and announced that she was the madness of King George incarnate, avenging Cucumber Falls Leslie. So Claire Daly is a deep state signifier, if it is a deep state signifier, for pornography, dealing with isolation as an old man. So they hardwired into the Eurasian brainiac instigator, who doesn't care at all about public schools. They like to blow up public schools. They're on the web. In the TikTok, we're blowing up public schools and bragging about it. Broccoli used to climb out the windows through the classrooms. All kinds of drugs, pushing all kinds of drugs. He would hold me down and molest me, basically. And so I couldn't move. And have people chase me so that I could only take refuge in his house. And then they implanted ideas. I mean, they like doing Michael Reagan's favorite scene is something they did to me when I was 9 years old at a slumber party. You can't get enough of it. He loves to humiliate the United States, and he says, I won't be a symbol of the United States anymore when people get my favorite scene. And so Gorbachev Society were collaborationists under Hitler's Paris. So remember Toon mongered Paris is the capital of Germany. Those were the days of Gorbachev when Paris was the capital of occupied France. And Germany was in charge. And the mystics who come up with this kind of stuff, fourth dimensional art. I don't know if you can see that, but that was one of the Benjamin dudes. So they get behind the curtain. See, the great dictators in Hollywood studios got off the ground at the same time. All the clap for Obama, D.W. Griffith was casting black people in his movies all the time. The toppling of the United States by the Israelis and the Jeffin Corporation with the AIDS attack. And notice Mick Wallace never talks about the squirrel spelled S-Q-U-R-L and the AIDS attack being a fly trap that was put together by the Donahue squad. Pittsburgh Public Schools never mentioned that Jimmy Carrey was beaten into a coma when he took refuge in Clem's shack with Dee Dee Mancini and had nowhere he could turn. And they had a Hollywood eye peep in the door that appears on the cover of Holocaust in film. And this is what they were doing. They're planning what they consider Appalachian hillbilly extermination of moral cause. You can see their moral cause when they bomb Gaza. Those are the moral savants of Adrian Belews and Her Majesty's gig with the sorcery of Hitler, Reagan, and the potty-trained Buchanan, fanny-shined, coward Fripp, mongering weapons of mass destruction, virginity proofs, rape, and soon to be another ice age. In the name of Gurdjieff, the Eurasian savant behind the leapfrog, Orban and Netanyahu, Nosferatu, Zelensky, Putin, Oliver Stone. I mean, they're just, manipulating a talking box while getting rid of what they don't even want to try to take care of civilization. These pompous stooges with their celebrity superstate don't even want to try to help public schools.